Yo, Descendant, Augiesaint here, and welcome to the channel. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I want to share with you guys my ultimate Sharen build. Sorry it's come out so late, but we have been blasting away at PoE 2. We are just going crazy in there, so if you guys are interested in that, stay tuned to the channel, as well as the upcoming TFD builds and stuff, as Season 2 is really good for TFD. We just don't really have much time right now because of PoE, but soon we'll be bringing you guys some more TFD stuff, so stay tuned. And without further ado, let's just hop straight into Sharen. Sharen is awesome. I really like the ultimate Sharen, especially the Beyblade mod is what I'm calling it, her new transcendence module called Area Suppression. I haven't got the stealth one to try it out yet, but I have heard that the stealth one is pretty much the same, just as broken as the Area Suppression. And the build I think will probably be about the same when you switch over to the ambush one. So whichever one you prefer, go for that one. But we are going to be focusing on the area suppression build, as this build is just really fun. I feel like it's completely made just for the new void vessel thing. You can solo run through the void vessel super fast. And when you get like really close to an elite or a boss, like the boss at the end of the dungeon, if you stand very close to him and you hit your force, you like shoot out all your blades, it kind of like just instantly deletes him, as you guys can see there in the video. It's really fast, clear, and easy. And then if you have the Reactor, the new laser rifle thingy that we have, the beam rifle, just slap that on. You don't even need mods on that thing. It's really strong versus the shields. Just switch over to break shields and you hit your 4 and then everything melts around you. And you do that. It's super fun. And you can also use your stealth, your ambush ability to go through lasers. So don't forget about that one. Obviously, I mean, dodging lasers is pretty easy. But if you just want to be lazy and run through the lasers, put your ambush on, you can go invisible and you'll go through the lasers. As well as ambush, giving you a crit multiplier, as well as a little bit, I think, damage boost as well. So make sure you do spam it every now and then when you can, you know, have enough MP for it. Even while you are mobbing, it does drop aggro and just makes you even more tanky overall. So now let's have a look at the mod setup. And honestly, she comes with really good polarities. I believe she came with these 3 and maybe one of these X's. So I didn't have to change anything on her. I think we're going to put like 7 callus in her, so not too bad overall. We could have also like not leveled this up 2 levels there and save some more golden KAIPER. As you know, we are at the 80 mark there once you do go ahead and catalyze everything. So first of all, we are running focus on fusion, focus on electric, just for increased damage, as well as the cooldown. She does so much damage, you don't really need like the other mods to boost the damage even further. Obviously, put the blue mods there, like specialize on electric or specialize fusion. You will get more damage, but you will lose a little bit of cooldown. And this also does the cooldown goes down when you get critical hits. So that's why we are stacking critical hit. Plus, she does have, I think, base 20% critical hit. So it's really good with everything the way we have it set up. And then when we proc ambush and the blue Beetle, I think we're at like 60 to 80% crit chance. So you're pretty much critting all the time, and especially when you're inside like a big pack of enemies and stuff, there's going to be enough crits to reset this or to bring the cooldown pretty much instantly. And even if you don't reset the cooldown instantly, you do have a 3.2 second cooldown on that. So really good for AoE clear. And again, also super good for the elite. So you can pretty much use this build in anything. I like to run the new hard mode KAIPER thingy, and I can pretty much solo that, and we get like 1.8 billion, over 2 billion damage at the end of it. So it's pretty insane. The number just goes into the negative because the game can't actually compute like the damage that she is putting out. So moving on, we do have dangerous ambush, because quite often we can go into stealth. You can remove this one out if you want to put MP collector in there. Again, she's got so much damage, you pretty much just overkill everything. So when you are mobbing, if you do feel like you need MP, you can drop dangerous ambush and then pick up MP collector. You won't really feel the damage difference too much there, but this does really help. And it does feel nice when you get to the boss, you hit camo and you just one-shot the boss with your area suppression. Then we do have these 3 crit mods, skill concentration. And the reason we're not running the skill critical hit chance mod, the other blue mod skill, I think it's insight, is because we have so much base crit. And with all of this, I think, let's have a look in game. We are currently at 38% crit. And then if we go ahead and proc the blue Beetle, we're now sitting at 61% crit. And then when you do go into camouflage, which is also on a 3.2 second cooldown, so you can spam this quite often, you will be getting that big hit there, as well as the outgoing damage increase. That 100% boost is going to affect it as well. And you'll have the crit. So we have more than enough crit, but if you really just want to be at 100% crit all the time, even when you're not stealth, then you could go ahead and drop one of these purple mods for skill inside of there, just to have the, you know, permanent like almost 100% crit. But up to you. I honestly think more crit damage is going to be better, because when you crit, which is going to be 60 to 80% of the time, it's going to be a bigger number, and big number make brain go yes. All right. We have the HP mod, HP amp. You could just use a normal blue HP mod. We don't care about shield. So this gives you a little bit more HP than blue HP mod. Just any HP mod you want over there for a little bit of defense. And then we come to MP conversion, nimble fingers, both of these for cooldown, just pushing our cooldowns down to the stupid levels that they are, 3.2 seconds, 3.2 seconds, and 1.1 second on the cutoff beam. This also does quite a bit of damage. What you could do when you get to the boss, the multiplier on this is higher. than the multiplier on this. But since so many of these actually come out, I think overall, if you get all of these knives to hit the same boss, it's going to do more damage than what the cutoff beam would. So when you get to like the boss at the end of the dungeon, I would say go camouflage, hit them with your area suppression, and then you could shrink them with your cutoff beam. You could go invisible again, you could shrink them again, or you can literally just spam everything. She does so much damage, and you'll probably one-shot the boss with area suppression and then the cutoff beam right afterwards. Anyway, so you don't really need to do anything specific. Just go ahead, press buttons, clear the map. I like to call this the Beyblade build because you can just run into mobs and spam this away. And then what's the last mod running? Skill expansion. Now this one is up for debate. This slot is really up to you. I think if you feel like you're having mana problems, which I really didn't feel like I was having mana problems, but I was obviously picking up MP and I was also playing with the new component set. But if you are having MP problems, switch out skill expansion for the skill cost reduction. I forgot what it was called. Skill cost, maximize conservation. So slap that bad boy in there and you won't have any problems. And the only thing the range really does is it increases the size of the knives that you throw. So it's a little bit easier to hit more enemies at once, because you see if we go like in the middle there, we can actually hit, well actually we hit so many enemies at that time. Maybe if you turn a little bit like this. Yeah, the knives are a little bit bigger, as you guys can see there, that projectiles that she shoots out. They're a little bit bigger, so it's a little bit better for the AoE clear, but honestly it's barely noticeable. I just do like to have it there. It doesn't increase how far they go, unfortunately, so you can't really change that. I can't take this out. Okay, there we go. So now let's have a look again, and you hit it. See, it hits a little bit less enemies there because it doesn't actually arc both of these, since it's a little bit smaller. It's not as thick. So you gotta like aim it a little bit better. Yeah, you see the crit, the reset on the ultimate's also not coming back as fast because it's not as thick. So it's not hitting as many enemies. So that's why I honestly just felt better running the range mod. So run the range mod, and then like I said, with dangerous ambush, you could switch that over to MP collector if you are feeling like you're having MP problems. But the build, what you're going to use this build is going to be like high density mobbing anyway, and then there'll be enough MP orbs lying around for you to pick up. And you can also solve it with your auxiliary set. Now the new auxiliary set is good in the sense of it gets your MP back. And you can see in game, we've got this little halo around us that shows that it is up. I think it has like a 5-second cooldown or something like that. Yeah, when current MP gain 5-second cooldown. So every 5 seconds you can get this effect where you get that MP. The only problem is you need to get hit. So you need to get hit by the mobs, and if you're constantly getting stealth and you're murdering enemies, you're not going to get health. And so sometimes I find myself like just standing still for a second and letting them hit me on purpose before I go ahead and kill them again. And if you play like that, it's going to refresh your MP really, really fast. Otherwise, just pick up orbs and you'll be perfectly fine. This set is really bad stat-wise, so I can't recommend it, but I could at the same time. It's really up to you. The set, the component set that you use with her is completely up to you. She does more than enough damage, so you could probably just go like a full rainbow set. Or what you could even do is go with 2-piece hunter, and the pieces I would recommend would be the sensor as well as the processor, because this one has HP and this one has defense. Both of these have shield, so those are like the worst 2 pieces. So try and get yourself a sensor and then the processor, and then the other 2 pieces you could just run rainbow, whatever you have that has HP or defense. Honestly, HP is more valuable because defense doesn't really help you out too much. So basically run the Hunter 2 set for the defense over there, HP over there. You'll get the cooldown reduction. You won't get the 4 set, but the cooldown is really nice. And then for the other 2 pieces, so your memory and your auxiliary power, go ahead and just run anything you have that has good stats on it. Something like this, max HP, MP recovery. Really doesn't matter too much. And any of the other set bonuses won't really help you too much. There's the one from the Executor, the Supernova, which will give you 8%, I believe, electrical scale power boost or something like that. You could use that if you want, but again, those have terrible stats. I think they have shield, and defense, so like no HP on them at all. But if you wanted to, you could go ahead and run that. And then for our Reactor, we are running skill critical damage and skill cooldown. I think this is what I would keep as a stat. I just would like to get a higher stat roll on that, obviously. But yes, skill critical damage and skill cooldown is what I would use. Although I'm not farming reactors until they bring in the reactor change. I believe next week or sometime this week, we're getting the update for reactor changes. And then we will go ahead and farm up a better reactor, as well as give you guys updated videos on reactor spot farming, because we haven't made one in a while. Mainly because we're just waiting for that change to come in, so you can't get like the double element on a reactor, because that really feels bad. Getting like a god rolled reactor and then it's, or getting like a really good reactor and it has like, I don't know, toxic damage on an electric reactor or something, feels pretty bad to me. So we are not farming reactors until the change comes in. But that is everything I can think of covering: components, reactor. Oh, and the weapon as well. Do not forget to use the blue Beetle. All you need to do is have it equipped. And then after you use a fusion skill, which turns out to be her 1 and 4, so both of her damaging abilities, you will get the massive crit buff from it. Go have a look at the unique abilities there. Trigger rate's 100% if you have it maxed out. And you get 115 skill critical hit rate. So that's basically just as if you're using skill insight, the critical mod. That's why I say it's not really worth using that, because you know you get it from the blue Beetle. And then everything else doesn't really matter. The build on the blue Beetle, I'm pretty much just using it as a stat 6, so the rolls don't really matter on it, as well as the mods. The only mod that matters over here is the defense master, because this will work when defeating enemies. You're going to get that 128% defense for 10 seconds, and it's on a 15-second cooldown. So you'll be getting a ton of defense every now and then, just to help you survive a little bit longer. So a nice little static defense thing to do there. It's pretty much the same thing I do on my bunny as well. So really nice. Sharen feels really good, and I love her as mobbing now. She's actually becoming one of my favorites really fast, because she has the good mobbing, as well as she can delete elites. And I believe she would do pretty good against the solo Colossus fights as well. If you had like a better reactor, I don't have a Colossus reactor, so I haven't even tried it. But I'm pretty sure if we go with the stealth build, or even with this air suppression, because when you are like really close to the enemy, you can hit them with all of the knives, and that's a big amount of damage you can be doing there. So I think for the solo bossing, she might be able to do solo all of them. I have heard people soloing Swamp Walker in like one phase, but I think that's probably going to be a little bit inconsistent. So for my soloing, I would probably just stick to Haley. But for mobbing, she's quickly becoming one of my favorite Descendants. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you did, please drop a like and a sub to the channel. It helps me out so much. And I'll catch you beautiful people in the next video, as well as the live streams. Augiesaint out.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the